From our shack to yours, this is Coffee and Ham Radios. We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we should be live.
We are.
It says zero people watching, but I see that there's people in the chat.
I see 24 on mine.
It might catch up. Oh, there it is, 24.
Yeah, all right. I was like, something must be busted over
We're
here.
big time this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I hit the go live button, and Chuck wanted to get himself some coffee. Did we?
I didn't
Did we
get
mess
it,
up
no.
there?
No,
Chuck
that's
doesn't
me.
understand the concept of coffee and ham radios requires you to have coffee and ham radios.
I have just a little bit, and I've got a ham radio sitting there, or multiple.
I'll
ones,
tell you what,
actually.
Chuck, you're exempted from the stream. You can go get your coffee now. Don't come back.
Don't come back.
Um,
I'm just
Just
setting
real
up
quick.
all my little fittings here.
if everybody realizes the dude is not here, he is down in St. Louis, Missouri.
Misery.
He went down there for some reason.
I don't know why you go there.
Not
I've been there before.
Yeah, and it feels like I haven't done this in a while. When I was
'Cause you
getting out of the
haven't.
race, I was like,
been
wait
gone.
a minute, I forget how to do all this kind of stuff. Today we're going to talk about coaxial cable connectors, everybody's favorite topic.
Bam. It's
There
like a
you go.
sausage.
Got a bunch of them here.
But
It's like it's all my end types. It's my I'm gonna beat somebody up.
yeah, like a
It's Knuckles.
Kubiton.
Roll of nickels.
Kubiton, I think is what they call
I heard
that.
that's not good though to do that.
45. I don't drink coffee either. That's just me.
I don't drink it either, and I really don't drink soda. I quit drinking soda, but this morning I was desperate. I grabbed this out of the fridge, and so I'm going to be drinking this down, and then I'll switch over to my iced tea. But Tio, last night you did a little bit of a live stream. Why don't you catch everybody up? And then you've been playing with that radio. Look, he's unshaven. He's a mess.
I know.
And it's because you've been
Up all
sitting
night. Super caffeinated. Ready to roll. Yeah, so I picked up this Zygu 6100, and this is the actual shipping model. You can see my camera, and you can see the ape and
Hi.
the Chuck there. And the chat. Everybody in the chat, say hi to yourselves. Yeah, and I thought it might not transmit on 40, and I was super worried, and then I finally was able to bust through with my massive 5 watts worth of transmitting power. There are some things about this radio that do not work. And then there are some things that work but don't work as intuitively as you think they should, like plugging in a mouse. You should be able to click on the frequency or like scroll the wheel and change the frequency or stuff like that. And you can't. You can manipulate the menus with it, which is fine. The display is beautiful. I love the display. It's 800 by 480, so it's like 8 times the
Nice.
resolution of your ICOM radio displays.
Is it? It looks really good. I have to
It's
say.
crisp.
high res. It's very
Crisp.
crisp. Yeah, and then the noise reduction. I'll have some videos coming out on this. I have some work I have to do for the FM transmitter station. They added a new requirement to that. When that's done, I'll come back and start putting out some videos. I'm basically going to be working all weekend on this thing because there's some interesting things, and it's firmware upgradable. So I'm hoping that they're going to be like happily tuning out firmware upgrades. But
That was the same way with the G90. So with the G90, there was firmware update after firmware update.
But I heard they didn't do that with the GSOC.
They had a
never
couple.
got it right.
They had a couple with the GSOC, but you're right. They never got that GSOC right.
I feel like it was abandoned, but I don't have one, so I don't know one way or the other. It's just
Well,
my
I think the
feeling.
GSOC's around $350, $400, and I can't see you doing that instead of just saving up another $225 and getting the 6100 at this point.
That was just an add-on, right, for the other radios?
yeah, for the
Yeah.
was the 5105 and then the G90.
So was I
yeah.
wrong that the GSOC adds 2-meter 440 to the G90?
It does not, as far as I know.
Somebody said something about that.
I never heard that, but I never really looked into it.
We
They were
got
what
boom
it did
power
is
in the
it-
chat.
Right. They added
Boom!
it added FM for 10 meters, I think.
So
Maybe
it added a mode, not a band.
Yeah, and I don't want to say maybe it added 6 meters, but I don't think so. I'd have to go. I haven't touched
They
my
already
G90
have
in so
6
long.
meters, don't they? Isn't there
Yeah.
6
The
meters on the
G90.
G90?
I don't think so.
And you heard it here first, folks. This thing does not have a way to turn on Wi-Fi or Bluetooth like it says it does in the manual. I found no menu options and no instrucciones that say. I've seen talk. I've heard tale of Wi-Fi, but I haven't seen any way to actually do anything with it.
Liberty Cave says he thinks the G90's got 50, and it might. It may have
does.
added it in a firmware or something. I can't, honestly
he
can't.
owns it. He owns it.
Yeah.
You should know.
I got one, but I haven't used it in so long. I can't. I'm an old man. I can't remember anything.
CRS.
Right. Well, I was telling somebody the G90 didn't have memories in it, and it does. So I mean, don't take my word for it. I'm ready to be put out to pasture.
I hardly ever use memories on anything.
I only use them on UHF and VHF. I never.
I ain't
use
got
them
my
on-
own memory. Let alone external memory.
Well, the
There's
problem
no
with
reason I would
memories, unless it's a
around that.
10-meter repeater, it's not work. I mean, the thing is that even nets are like, hey, we're on this frequency every single day, unless there's interference, unless there's this. You know what I mean? And
Except when
so-
we're 2 kcs higher, yeah.
So, I don't know. Hey, Adam, how you doing, man? Oh, so Liberty Cave is saying he meant that the 6100 has 50. All right, I'm going back to my original stance. The G90 doesn't have it.
It says it right there. That's all I can tell you about the 6100 having 50, because I need to find somebody who can do a QSO on 50.
So, but you've been having fun with that
That'll
thing,
be
right?
tough.
Oh, I've been playing with it. Yeah, I spent about 2.5, 3 hours on it last night. I was on it for another hour and a half, 2 hours this morning. I made 2 total contacts so far.
Oh, there
Hear
you
a
go.
lot, but I finally made 2.
Well, in exciting radio news, Chuck actually picked up a new piece of equipment, didn't he?
I did. I picked up
Well,
the
come on.
705.
Flex it. Let's see it.
It's hooked up to a way too stiff of a jumper. I was using it last night. I don't know if any of you guys.
It's fake news.
Yeah, I
there's a
think
guy-
that sounds like an excuse to me.
Shoot.
He doesn't have it.
All right,
The other
hang
one
on.
is-
Hang
All,
on.
all I have seen is a power pole that was messed up. I haven't seen anything else that indicates that you have a new radio. Not like me, where it's like here, and I've done a live stream with it. It's in my hands. This is TO. This is TO's radio. What you got,
Right.
Chuck?
So while you were on,
There you go.
let me get you in full screen.
Nice.
Show and tell. Show and tell.
Oh, look at that. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
My
And that is
arm
the
does it.
3D printed cage by Chuck Enterprises.
Yeah, with the fixes on top to make it strong enough, and there's a fix across the bottom here. It's
And you got that off of Thingiverse?
yeah, and it's probably whoa.
Oh,
Somebody's getting a call. It's
the ape
probably
hotline.
it broke right off the bat, but it's
Pound of
probably
crack.
not his. It's probably the way I did it, the way I printed it. I probably didn't print it right.
What you're saying is it's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
But we know it's you.
it's me. No, it's probably me. Man, it's hot in here today. Got the switcher. It's like,
Chuck's getting all warmed up playing with that icon. See, icon
Well,
gets your
here's-
juices flowing, not like Yezu, right?
Here's the thing. Yesterday when you guys were doing the live stream, Mrs.
I
A
had
was
it.
like, I hear Chuck. Is that Chuck there talking? And I was like, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
'Cause she's a big Chuck fan. And so I told her last night, I said, well, for the Christmas stream that we're doing, Chuck says he's going to wear his Santa Claus suit. And
Nice.
we have not discussed that yet, but I'm going to say to the folks in the chat, if you want Chuck to wear the Santa Claus suit, go ahead and
I
put
don't have one, man.
Yeah, so
put one in
Christmas
the chat.
Christmas Day is a weekend car day. Are we doing a Christmas morning live stream? That'd be
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
sure.
think I'll be
devastating
there.
and interesting all at the same time.
I don't think I can pull that one off.
I don't think so either. I'll be with the
Morning,
the
hon. Gotta go get on the
grandkids.
show.
Well, you know what? For me, it would actually probably
fine.
work because my wife would still be asleep and the kids would be on with me though, because we're probably going to go to my daughter's house. So I'd have
Bah,
like
bug.
three kids with me,
Well, from what I can tell,
bouncing off a wall.
everybody in the chat is
Bah.
wanting you to wear the Santa Claus outfit.
My heart shrunk this small. So what
Your
are all
fa-
these
your
ones in the
fans are
chat
speaking.
for? What are all
For
these
Chuck
ones
to
in
wear
the
the,
chat?
the ones are for Chuck to wear the Santa Claus suit,
Liberty Cave wants him to wear it twice.
right?
Chuck is so good looking, we got to cover him up twice.
That's right.
When my kids were younger, we used to have the Christmas party at my neighbor's house, and we were over there, and one of the dads put on the Christmas suit, and he was the Santa Claus suit, and he was sitting in the chair. And my daughter comes over, and she's like, "Dad, Santa smells like beer and onions."
Santa smells like you, Dad.
Right? So I was like, "Yep, that's him."
And every
It was
once in a while at the mall, you get the drunk one, like
Right.
Bad Santa.
Right.
Nice.
All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and do some
Burning up today.
show topics and stuff like that.
Chuck's got a fever.
We have a really new feature in StreamYard, which is pretty cool, that allows us to do this and put slides in.
Holy moly.
Yeah, can you look at that?
Now I can move it.
Oh, like what? Oh, you're doing it. I was like, I'm sitting there thinking I leaned on my keyboard.
He's messing with you all morning,
It's
man.
all bugs.
Yeah,
It's not me, it's you.
We're going to talk a little bit about coaxial cable connectors. It's a question that comes up every so often. What I did is I pinned Toad's Discord to the top of the chat. If you're not a member of Toad's Discord, go ahead and join, and we talk about coaxial cable connectors over there.
All the time.
But it's a really good place where you can talk ham radio all the time, along with a bunch of other stuff. And if you have any questions or anything like that, it's a good place to go to get them answered.
Do it all the time.
We do. So,
So before we get too deep into this, I know you've got these slides all prepped and ready, but I do want to
Professionally.
tease out that we do have a giveaway coming up on stream today. So make sure you tell all of your friends to reduce your chances of winning. But we do have a giveaway coming.
yeah.
Hey, why don't T.O., you do the shout out while I get caught.
Oh, all right. Put a 2 in the chat for shout outs. Crimp versus solder. Let the debate begin. Yes, indeed. Crimp and solder. Both.
Apparently, Gordon does not like the connectors. And I'm going to admit this now, and I know everybody's going to be... I usually buy coaxial cable pre-connected with the connectors already on there.
Yeah, I've made my own. We got the shout outs rolling in now. We got Dan M0IDW, and then it just bounced right off the screen. Bill Munghaven, good morning. Agoraphobic Adam, good morning to you. Liberty Cave, Mike, the Gaming Ham, Amateur Radio on the Air, Shooter Ready, stand by, Brian Covanier. And we got FEP Labs being all like binarily specific there. What do we got? We got Keith. Barrel connectors for the win. Yes, indeed. You can win a barrel connector, but that's not on today's giveaway. Roger McKeon, Dan Martin, K9KMV, the unlucky ham. I don't know why he says he's unlucky. He's got 2 fantastic-looking Toyotas in his driveway right now. And Plasma says crimp and solder. I agree. NRD says 2-2. Agoraphobic Adam wants me to do the movie trailer voice. In a world where Agoraphobic Adam watches ham radio YouTube channels, people put 2s in the chat. What will happen next? Dale Melton, number 2. Mike says 2 solder. So he's a solder, no crimp. Les with 2, CO4 NLB, good morning. Plasma's got some girl's phone number on the screen. Call her up and have a date. The Gaming Ham again. 45 auto with pi, so we're not going to talk about that. Digital Rancher is +1 and Ape is already 2, so that's 3. So we're not going to mention him either. Tim Stat, good morning. Andy Cowley with 32. Andy's always an overachiever. Lionel, good morning. Digital Rancher again, Plasma again, and NRD with the .22. And that is all for the shoutouts. And Chuck isn't back with his coffee because he's not as fast as I am.
He's taking his sweet time, isn't he?
Bow, bow. Decaf only in the house. Bow, bow. What will Chuck do? Bow, bow.
Andy's saying he needs us to use N-type all the time. And Thump is, he bought all LMR 400 cable, and he did N-type connectors on his entire setup.
He even modified radios.
Yeah, and I was like, man, bro, you spent some money on that. But he wanted the best, and he did a pretty good job with it. But we'll talk about crimping and soldering and these things and all that stuff as we get through the conversation.
Okay, we can start now.
Ham Radio Dude is here. Ham Radio Dude, we're talking about N-type connectors right now. I've heard they are waterproof. What I'm going to need you to do is plug an N-type connector into your Yaesu radio and then hit it with a hose.
In the tub. Put it
Radio
in the tub.
and all, and see if the connector survives. I don't really care about the radio so much.
Right. So these are the PL259s and SO239s, and I forever get them mixed up as to which one's which. And then T.O. was telling me, he says PL is plug and SO is socket.
Exactly.
So you can see the plug end is the male end and the socket end is the female end.
You know, and sometimes that seems backwards to me too, the male and female part of it.
Well, I got to tell you, I heard that a ham radio guy is B&D platformed, a ham radio YouTuber, because he refused to use same-sex connectors.
Cancel.
So-
Guy's out. He's done.
Right.
Is he in
But
here? Today?
these are your. What's that?
I was just wondering if he's in here. You said he was in here. Huh?
The canceled ham.
There he is, the canceled ham.
So we have these were your typical radio connector, right? Like, so most radios come with one of these with an SO239 on the back of them. And that's primarily what I use. Like, my window pass-through is all SO239.
Yeah, mine too.
There may be an end connector on there, but I doubt it. And people started to use these in World War II. So it's my understanding they were created for the military. But also in World War II, again, it's my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm coachable. You can call me out in the chat. The coaxial cable became prevalent for radio communications and connecting equipment together at World War II. And so I guess that's why there was such a need for some sort of connector type like this. These do need to be weatherproofed. So, Chuck, you probably do a pretty good job weatherproofing yours. You want to explain the process?
Well, some people like to put. I was chatting out to Liberty because he was right. I just said it to you, Liberty. Sorry. Some people like to put like a little Vaseline or a little conductive grease on the threads and stuff sometimes. What I usually do is I wrap them with the amalgamating tape.
Self-amalgamating tape.
The
Yeah.
self-amag. Yep. I use that first. This is an old ham buddy of mine told me. He's been doing this for way longer than me.
And that stuff ain't cheap.
No, it lasts a long time, really, because you don't use a lot. But I do that, and then I wrap it with some 3M regular electrical tape on top of that.
Vaseline does not melt in the summer. I have not had a problem with it.
So somebody was telling me somewhere along the way that what they do first is they reverse wrap electrical tape on the connector. So that way, if they have to peel it off, the connector's not all covered in goo and sticky and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't think that I've never had to take the self-amalgamating off yet, but does it get sticky? It probably does.
And they say it's a pain to get off. One thing I'll tell you, and people are going to shame me for this, buy 3M electrical tape. Don't use some jive tape because it's just, it's different. And then the way that
when you pull
wrap
that
it,
stuff and break it, you can't find the end of it. Have you ever noticed
Right.
that?
Yeah.
It sticks. It gets gummy. It gets gummy though.
Well, the other one is like the way that you wrap it, you can wrap it in the direction of the spiral. So if you're hanging vertically, you don't want your ledges to be at the
Go
top.
from the
You want
bottom
yeah,
up.
Right.
Oh, so there's two conspiracies
like a
there.
roof.
You want it to be like a roof, like Chuck says, so that the water runs down overlapping, not down into. So that's one. And then you also want to wrap it in the direction of the screwing, so that as you're screwing on your connector, you're not unscrewing your tape.
And I think north of the equator. Oh, never mind. That's something else.
You're saying down that Hayden's got to put it on the reverse
Hayden's got to
direction.
go the other way because it rains from the ground up. Actually,
You got
do
you
they
got
get rain down there?
rainforest down there, but that doesn't look right.
Well, can you put them at the top, Tia? There's a couple new layouts. Like I saw somebody
do that.
put them at the.
Ooh, look at
I
that.
look, good, I look good today. I look
You
good
do
today.
look good today. I wasn't going to say anything out loud, but see,
I
now
know.
it's gone.
People. Hey,
Yep,
the
that's it.
thumbs up are kind of light, guys. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
mentioned that. Just
Well,
thought
Thumbs up for Ape's good looks.
Right. So then I did put this here, mini UHF exists. I've never used mini UHF. Have you guys used them at all? Or?
I didn't even know
I
there was such
have
a thing.
some, I think, and I'm looking at those going, what are they? So we always talk about this. Ape has flexed his a couple of times, but we have these Plano boxes, and they are chock full of connectors. So let me see if I think I have
And
a
because yours made so much noise, I'm not going to get mine out since my wife's sleeping.
We're going to make you go
exactly.
over on the overhead cam there, Tio, with that.
Go ahead.
Ooh. Did you get the lights on?
So, yeah, so this is the Box O connectors, and I've got them sorted. It's really hard to sort connectors because they go in each direction, and I think these are the mini UHF connectors, but I don't know because I've never used them.
Those look
so I've
normal
got-
to me.
Well, if you look at them,
What's different?
they're-
I can't tell.
so this is the mini, where is it? This is the mini UHF, and this is
Oh,
the
I
Maxi
gotcha.
UHF.
They won't mate,
obviously-
will they? Yeah.
They don't mate.
I got you.
But I don't know. because I've never used them. They just came in a connector set, because you don't just go buy one connector. You go buy a set of connectors. And right now the hotness in connectors is Boobries on Amazon, and we've all been picking up Boobries, and that's where this set of N to PL259 connectors came from, SO239 connectors came from, N to UHF, VHF, and I've got them all married in a row. So this is the N type end, and then this is the PL259 end, if you want to do that again.
Let me get you back in the middle. So do you use N connectors in the shack?
The only thing that I have that uses an N connector, you can see these guys won't mate up at all. The only thing I have that uses N connectors is this cell wave dummy load that I need to start working with. So, and that's the only reason why I have the adapters.
I have one antenna, and that's my 2-meter M2 came with N connector on it, and I didn't have any N connector, so it basically has a adapter on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I never used N connectors, and when I bought my spectrum analyzer, that has N connectors on it. So I had to buy N connectors to Sma Adapters, because all my short coax runs for testing stuff is all Sma.
Gotcha.
And then I got, last night it came in the mail, and there's pictures in the testing and evaluation sub-chat on Toads. I got the Nano VNA SAA2N, which uses N-type connectors.
I should do this.
But like you said, Tio, when I got the N-type connectors on this thing, I just went and ordered an N-type connector kit. It had like 15 different N-type connectors in there. But so what's really, people ask questions around talking about these connectors, the 259s and 239s. People are like, well, why are they called UHF connectors? I've actually seen them called VHF connectors sometimes, because, VHF is very high frequency, UHF is ultra high frequency.
Ultra.
But you typically see these with low frequency devices. And when I say low frequency, I'm talking HF bands, right? I'm talking 160 meters through 10 through 6 meters. And the reason is that when these were made, they were World War II, they were the state of the art, and they were designed for higher frequencies as well. Over time, better things have been developed. Like, technology has progressed. So they're definitely better connectors than these that you can use. And one of those we'll talk about on the next slide.
So why are they 239, 259? That's the real question I have. Like, what does that number signify?
No idea.
I don't think anybody knows.
239 times tries to get it right.
And 259 tries to get the other side right when they had something to start with.
So they could mate it.
That's pretty bad.
Mate.
Yeah, and NRD saying, when I say low frequency, I mean high frequency. And that is confusing to people, right? When they get into ham radio, they're like, well, if it's lower, why is it called high frequency? But that's because you have the designations of very high and ultra high frequency.
Right.
Here we go. And Liberty Cave says it's in the manual, and it should be an exam question.
Where did you put your...
It's not millimeters. I checked it out. It's not. It's 0.6 or something.
I have no idea.
Hey, where did you put your pictures at? In Toads?
Who are you talking about?
You.
They're in my StreamYard.
Oh.
So what I can do now is I'm going to switch over to the next one, and so this is where we could talk about BNC connectors, and that looks like it says Bayonet Neil Councilman, and that's the feller, probably a European with a name like that. What do you guys think?
I think it's European, yeah.
I'd bet on it.
Okay, so Liberty Cave is saying it's about the threads. TO, the threads are 5/8 times 28 TPI.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that converts somehow to 239 or 259, and the 239 and 259 are the same thread count. Got it.
And Philip has joined us. Good morning, Philip.
By the way, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just calling out the interesting in nature of it.
It wouldn't be ham radio if there wasn't a disagreement.
Or two.
That's true.
So I like these things, these BNC connectors, because they're quick connect and disconnect. Although sometimes I still have trouble getting them. Like, I'm trying to sit there, I'm like, damn it, get out of there. They're used in radio, video, and even some audio applications. Folks will use these. Now, they're typically used for thinner or skinnier coaxial cable, like RG8X, RG58. Like an RG213 or an LMR 400. That stuff is just too porky to use with these.
You know, I'm using a jumper in my thing in my room here for my 3000 that I was trying to put on the 705. It just moves the 705 wherever it wants to go.
Yep.
Well, like
So I'm
when
gonna change it, and there's no reason for it. It's a 3-foot piece going to my amp.
Yeah, when
cares?
Tio was flexing his box of parts, the thing is like one thing people fall prey to all the time is that you see these on QRP radios, right? Like the 705, you see them on TO 6100. The people always take a piece of coax out in the field that does not have a match.
Yep.
So like a lot of times you want to buy these male to male or female to female connectors, and then you also want a PL259s. Look, that's the chuck sack, right?
Yeah, I can keep all my
That's Chuck's
BNC.
sack.
He always shows his sack off whenever he gets an opportunity.
I need an extra. It's an extra big one there. Just kidding. This is what I keep all my. I mean, even down to these things. You know,
I use this
all my BNC stuff.
That Walmart thing is money. Show that again, Abe. I want at least 3 of those.
I use my Walmart basket. That's where I keep my parts. In there.
Hey, you know what? You guys know what's the expensive cases that you buy for camera
Pelican.
gear? Pelican. So Pelican has that little waterproof one, the small one that's like the case that
It's like an
Tio
otter
showed.
box.
Guess who else makes that one for like way cheaper?
The Harbor Freight Apache.
They've got the small Apache one like that too. I'm
Harbor
gonna
Freight.
pick one of those up.
I've seen those
Okay.
Apache cases in person. I am pleased with those.
I've got a couple. I mean, they may not be quite as good, but they're close.
For what I'm doing with it, they're close. I am not going to go out in my canoe and capsize my canoe and hope that my radio stays waterproof, because you won't find me in a canoe with that expensive of a radio.
No, I won't either. Maybe a Bofang. Maybe.
Look at this. A double-ended SO239 is a SO238.
Oh, wow. I need to...
Dan's getting technical here. You mean one of these? Oh, no. What's this one called then, Dan?
SO238.
See, I would always call that a
double-ended.
barrel connector.
Yeah.
And they make these that are like 6 inches long. Those are awesome, too.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
got some
for
of
like
those.
window and bulkhead. They call it a bulkhead pass-through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to do that to bring some stuff in through my house, and I did something different.
Chuck your own solo if you got anything you want to share.
Oh, nothing.
We will
My
go
name
back
is
to...
Chuck, and I like
I can
ham
show you the
radio
new
and ham
antenna I'm
radio
building,
accessories.
but I mean, we could do that later.
We will. It's on the
So,
agenda.
With
Is it?
these... Well, I think after this slide, we are going to do the giveaway. So everybody get ready. So anyhow, we have these. These come in 75 and 50 ohm impedances.
Oh, they do.
So what you need to do is you need to be careful, right? Because you can also buy these on Amazon where they'll be like, this is 50 ohms, I swear. And it's not, and it's 75 ohms.
I wonder, Duke was having some problems on his 705 with some of those, and I wonder if he got 75 ohm ones.
You can step in it, and you can end up with a 75 ohm impedance in line with your system, and you can end up in a little bit of trouble there. So these were developed also for military use, much like the other connectors we looked at, but it was in the 1980s. And I guess that's when we were like down in Grenada and all that kind of stuff, right? And I don't hear it was popular with QRP radios. I didn't have much else to say about these. I didn't know if anybody wanted to I like them. I like Bnc connectors. So to me, they're quick, they're easy, and
I'm beginning to like them more than I used to. My buddy changes all of his HTs over to them.
Well, like this is my. Oh, I almost just dropped it. This is my. Let me put myself on the big screen.
Oh, nice.
I built this a while ago, and this is my 49-1. This is a 140-43 mix, and it's got 14 gauge.
That's a
magnet wire.
140 or 240?
It's a 140, and
Looks huge.
yeah, well, it's the way I hold it. And so if you look at if you look at this, that's I use a Bnc connector on that, and in particular I picked a Bnc female, so that way I can just use my Bnc coax that I have, which has the male ends, and I can connect it right to my 705 and right to this, and then I'm in business.
Right.
And then this is a choke that I made, and this has the SO239s. So whenever I'm building something, I always try to think about, hey, where am I going to use this? Where am I going to put it? And then what my application's going to be. And then I'll use the connector for that.
Right. I still say that thing looked like a 240.
It ain't a 240. It's a...
I know you know your roids, so I believe you.
It's a...
He's got one severe case of toroids.
It's just the case makes it look bigger, I guess. Looks like a big case.
Right, 45 auto is correct here. So, all right, I got a text in here that I need to respond to. So I'm sorry, I'm messing up the show. Tell a joke, Tio.
We'll just keep it rolling. Yeah, so they're talking. NRD in the chat is talking about these Condition 1 cases, and I'm looking up, and so far it's all. Oh, wait a minute, Walmart might have it. It's all. I was gonna say it's all fake news because every place I see it says it's out of stock. Yep, Walmart says it's out of stock. So Condition 1 101075 medium size hard case, $80.99.
Those things are expensive. Those Condition 1 cases, or at least they used to be. And they were first on the scene for pew-pews, if I remember correctly.
For what?
Say they're unobtainium right now.
Oh.
13-inch small case, condition1.com. Let's see if they can sell their own product. Yep.
And then we got
13-inch case, $54.95. That's on par with Pelican and the other ones, but Apaches are still cheaper. But again, you get what you pay for.
They've got this small. I'm going to buy that small Apache for my. I think it'll fit my antenna analyzer, my Comet.
All right, well, we have Plasma Storm in the chat, and that's a good thing today. Plasma Storm,
not every day, but today it's a good thing.
He announced in Toads that he was going to sponsor a giveaway today, right?
Yep.
Oh.
And what he wanted to do is he wants to give away a Baofeng. I believe it's a UV5R, and he's got a boatload of accessories.
Before you show that, let me see if I can share out the pictures so we can really tease it up good.
All right.
But I got to find them.
Tease it.
So we're going to do a giveaway in a few
And I just
minutes
talked to
here.
him, and Plasma is very aware of the legal regulations and the situation that is rapidly developing in the EU right now, where these radios are a little banned,
They're banning them, like in Germany, right? Didn't they do something like that? Thank
Really?
you, is Liberty Cabe is saying, and he is right. Thanks again. Really do appreciate Plasma for doing this.
Go. I'm trying to find the pictures. Where'd you put them, Plasma?
I got here. Put me up. I'll show you guys some tools while he's looking for crimping.
There they
Crimping
are. I found them.
ain't easy.
And that one's from DX Engineering, and I was able to break one of the jaws one day.
Well, DX Engineering means expensive.
And then this was that one's $29. This was at the Pacificon. I got it because I needed something to do. I wanted to do something that did really small ones, which...
Are they ratcheting, Chuck?
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah, to me, ratcheting is the way to go on those things.
Release.
And then I've got these for cutters. I think these are DX Engineering too. That's for cutting bigger wires. But if you guys want something to cut, especially like bigger coax, these are I don't know if you can buy them anymore, but they're made by Craftsman.
But that looks like a
PVC with
medieval
that, too.
torture device.
It has this is a razor blade basically, and these things, you know how when you cut coax, it usually smashes it.
Yep.
Right.
This stuff cuts through it and hardly even.
Well, I've got a cutter that you put on there and you spin it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I've seen those.
You can take me off. That's cool.
Are you ready, Chuck? We're taking you down.
I'm ready.
T.O., do
That's
you
all I
have...
have.
You
That's all
got
I
pictures
have.
you want to share?
I do. Let me add that in. So these are the pictures of the radio in question, the current illicit substance, illegal device in the EU. So this is going to be a U.S. only giveaway, but we have the W4 NRG, W4 IZ repeaters already programmed in for your use. It's got the extended
How about
battery.
Oh,
It also comes in overexposed lights out mode.
Nice.
So this is the dark mode UV5R, and this is the light mode UV5R.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got the Abri antenna and the charger and the belt clip, and it looks like the original box as well, and a couple of extra batteries that are going. So this is like the dream Baofeng UV5R package. And
He
Dave
says-
is already getting excited, so watch out.
Right. And now he is saying that there is a hand mic with that too.
Yes.
He said, don't forget to include the speaker mic in the pick. And, well, Plasma, he did. He forgot. So we're just going to have to...
You know, I get speaker mics on HTs.
But, here's the but.
I just don't get it on the 705. But, that being said, T.O. brought up a good comment today about that you know these like headphones with the mics, like gaming ones, they actually might hook up on that radio. I might have to try that later.
Well, so you're not
it's got
taking
a regular
issue...
Kenwood connector.
But you're not taking issue with a hand
Is it?
microphone. You're taking issue with the speaker microphone.
Yeah. Because I tell you that the 705's got a nice speaker.
But here's the thing: the 705 they sell this backpack that you're supposed to stick it in and walk around with, and that's why they
I know.
do that.
I never do that.
I wouldn't either. But you always see the guy at the ham fest with the giant loop antenna on his back and carrying the radio like the
Killing people.
He's got
on the
less.
left and right
He's got
side
less hair than I do.
right. And he glows in the dark and all that stuff.
It glows, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get this giveaway started.
It's just
So
a
here's
weird
the,
thing.
Here's the giveaway tool, and the phrase that pays is plasma.
The phrase that
Plasma.
pays is
Capital P?
plasma.
Did you put
Yep. So
capital
I'm going to
P?
hit this button and start collecting comments. So there you go. What you want to do is you
Capital
wanna,
P, everyone.
I
Right.
want it. I need another UV5R.
So put a capital P Lasma in the chat, and then you have an opportunity to win.
Capital P Lasma.
Right.
Oh, man. Did I not?
Gordo, you got a transposition in your letters there. Retype it, and then Ben, you put a Z in there.
He's got it fixed. He's good now.
All right.
The Z was close, man.
Plasma. Hopefully, I spelled it right.
64 viewers watching, 27 entrants.
Look at mine. It's backwards. That'll work.
AMSALP. That sounds
It
like
is
a
case
disease.
sensitive.
No, I mean, I
RQ
I
put
did
in P Lasma.
Yeah, I hit the capitals lock, unfortunately.
You do that a lot, Chuck. I think you have a
I
sixth
know.
finger. You have an extra
No,
pinky.
sometimes when I print stuff into certain things, I do it, and then I forget that I turned it on. And
I don't know if that's advanced skills or just laziness, Chuck.
My hands are all stiffed up this morning, so I was
It
typing
is.
all
It's
goofy,
lazy.
but I seem to have gotten it worked out.
I'm a lazy motorcycle rider.
Because you don't ride that often?
No, I ride. When I ride, I like to kick back and ride. My buddy wants to be like all
Carving
crazy
corners.
all the time. Yeah, I carve the corners, but I do it with. You're supposed to stand up on dirt bikes a lot more than I do. Let's just say that.
With
Now,
panache.
did Plasma enter his own giveaway?
I don't know. Did he?
Well, here's the other thing,
I'm
which is
looking it up.
really, really cool of Plasma. He said that he would offer lifetime support. So,
wow.
if you have cable problems or chirp problems or any of that stuff, he said he would be more than happy to.
Just email him.
Yeah, he said just
wait a minute.
ring him up.
He said he did
email
not.
him, DM. He's good on OnlyHams. Whatever you need to.
80 meters after dark.
Right, he's offering that up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and we got 68 people in the chat, and we got 34 entered. That's about half. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the selection if that's
Good,
that's
good
okay.
math, Ape. Draw, son.
Here we go. Come on, Smoking Ape.
Come on, T.O. Come on, car. I see you both in there.
Oh, I entered his car.
Phil Booth.
Look at that! Congratulations, Philip.
Congratulations.
Sorry for your loss, Ape.
So this radio is at Plasma's place, and I guess he's the one who's going to drop it in the mail and send it over to Philip Muth, right?
Exactly. So
Are you
any
good on
problems, bring it up
QRZ?
on Toads in a nice public area so that we can all publicly
Shame.
praise and shame as necessary, as appropriate.
And again, that's really awesome for the lifetime support that Plasma is going to supply.
Oh man, that's better than Bofing.
Right.
Congratulations to you, Phil. Thank you very much, Plasma, for sponsoring the giveaway. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh
Thanks, man.
Taz is here.
All right, well, let me go over and take a look at my agenda real quick because I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting.
Oh, you already
nothing.
forgot 7 things, man. I'm keeping track.
Well, we
You're on a
plugged
new
Toads.
contract, by the way. You're on a
Right.
totally new contract because you've been absent for 4 times, which means we need to reschedule, renegotiate. And
Yeah.
sorry for the cut and pay, but You did it to yourself, bud.
Well, they cut my pay in half, is from what I understand. So what we have is we did the welcome. We said hi to the panel. We plugged Toads. We did not talk about the Buy Me a Coffee. If you guys want to support the chat or support Car, there is a stream, a banner at the bottom that has a link to Buy Me a Coffee. Any support would be appreciated.
We've got 2 pledges already. Thank you very much, FEP Labs Radio. Check out his YouTube channel. And Lyle has also sent in a pledge. So all good to go there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then I have answer questions after slide 1, shout outs, and Plasma Bofang giveaway. We plugged Plasma's channel. Do we have a link to Plasma? He's got a channel where he did some soldering work.
He does do soldering work, and I need to talk to Plasma about cleaning up after yourself. On not because he doesn't do it, but because I'm not good at cleaning up after myself. So make sure we say that appropriately.
When you're soldering.
Yeah, it gets sticky.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it gets sticky, and I need some pro tips from the pro.
Liberty wants you to post the link for the coffee.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah,
Tio, can you do that?
I was in the middle of getting Plasma's link, but let's do Plasma's link, then I'll do the coffee link.
Okay.
All right, we are going to post a couple of links, and
it's hard to talk, type, and search.
But we still need to do shout outs too, right? Communications and Cigar has joined.
I did shout outs.
Hey, John.
While Chuck was getting coffee.
Yeah, remember? I don't know if he did or not.
Brian is right.
You weren't here.
This microphone, I love it, but this dang on arm, I've been wrestling with it the whole time. I have got everything as tight as it can possibly go, and it keeps coming down. It drives me insane.
Oh, you got to tighten. Did you tighten these up?
Oh, thank you, Jim.
I tightened those up. I mean, as tight as they'll go.
Yeah, I'm still looking for Plasma.
It's very strong.
Mine's got a really goofy angle that it comes out of.
Who turned you onto that one?
I got it because you had it.
Oh, that's right. It actually is really nice. Because my mic's really heavy, and the first one I bought it would just like.
Well, the one I used to have had the springs on the side, and if I ever bumped it, it was like bong, and it'd make all that noise.
Oh yeah, I use that for my overhead camera now.
It would drive me insane.
I forget what I did. I've got a third one here someplace. I forgot what I did with that one.
And then Andy also posted the Plasma link, so
Thank
Plasma's
you,
in there.
Oh, great, Andy.
So check out Plasma Storm.
Plasma.
All right,
I posted it again, Plasma. Take that.
Yeah, Plasma.
More links for you.
I don't remember where we left off. Are we going to do shout-outs?
We did shout-outs. We already had the argument about doing shout-outs also.
That was the 2. All right, so
yeah.
All right, I'm just trying. So, all right, we talked about Bnc connectors.
You miss 4 shows and you forget how to YouTube.
Now we're going to talk about SMA. And I bet you didn't know that stands for Sub-Miniature A.
Sub-Miniature A.
We like naming stuff difficult.
I'm learning a lot of stuff today.
Well, when I was doing this, I saw they were good up to 24 gigahertz, and I don't know how much operating you do at in 24 gigahertz space, but I don't. But you can if you got SMA connectors. And then one thing I put on here is they can be reverse gender. So in this picture, if you look carefully, like down in the lower left-hand corner is male-to-male pins, but the threading...
Male to female connectors.
Right. And then same thing with on the right is like the upper right-hand corner is female to female pinning, but the connectors are male and female.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They're kind of weird backwards.
So yeah. John's asking us about the N and Bnc connector trick, and no, I have not. We have not talked about that. Let me. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try this thing and see if I can figure out what he's talking about.
I've never even heard of it. The John's on top of this stuff, man.
You have to see, but so I put in here these can be reverse gender, and a lot of times people SMA connectors are what we use primarily on handy talkies or HTs these days. Mm-hmm. And so you really need to be careful because I know plenty of people who have bought the wrong gender antenna for their HT, and then they want to put a bunch of adapters in line. And these things are somewhat delicate. I know somebody might take some issue there, but you really don't want on your HT. Let me see if I can find one. Here's one with without an antenna on it. So if you take a look here, this is an SMA male connector that's on there, and it's never going to focus. So we're just going to have to
cover your face.
Please.
Oh, it's way better. It's way better.
But what happens is a lot of people will start putting different adapters on here, and then you get this fulcrum, essentially like a lever, and you can break your pin or you can break your connector. I wish these all came with BNC stuff.
Yeah,
but
Liberty says he converts his as ASAP.
Yeah,
I've never done it, but I think I'm going to start doing that also.
I have on the radios that I use a lot, where the antennas get bumped and stuff like that. I'll do that. So what John's saying is, if you have a BNC female and an N male and need to make a temp connection, you can slide it onto the BNC. It will just not lock into place. So they call that a friction fit, right?
BNC
interference fit.
female.
Yeah.
Because the N-type connector has a shroud inside of it that probably slides right, and the pin that probably slides right over the.
Yeah, because it has that. It has that little tunnel in there, huh? On the ends. I don't think I have one.
Now, generally with these SMA connectors, they use a smaller cable, and I swear I had all this stuff out, and now I don't. Oh, here's one.
Yeah.
Are you guys counting the mistakes that Ape's making today?
Listen, I'm telling you.
It's been quite a few so far.
But here, Tio, I don't know if you can you see this cable that I've got up for you?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Can you point to the one connector you want to talk about?
Right, this is the connector right here that I was going to. But this is the smaller cable. I believe this is 174. This came with my tiny SA. So you'll typically see.
It is tiny.
You'll typically see smaller cable used with these, and I put in here they're popular with HT radios, but you also see them with Wi-Fi antennas. Dang it. So you'll typically see them on there.
I see a 50-50 mix of SMA and BNC connectors on test gear too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're on test gear, you want to get an SMA torque wrench also, because that's important.
Yeah. So for example, here's my Nano VNA. And let me get back on the big screen, and you can see this is SMA female connectors on there. So you see, you're right. You see that a lot on test equipment. Like I mentioned, my new VNA has N-type connectors, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know why, but I just am. He ran out of toes, is what he said.
He only has 3.
That really doesn't say anything, right? I mean, do you actually have a full set of toes? Let's start off there.
Right. How many toes you got, son?
What are we working with?
he may have got frostbite at some point. Who knows? You know?
Right.
He might have just gotten hungry.
Did you guys have any yarns you want to spin on the SMA connectors?
Negligent discharge on the toes.
I don't use too many of them. I mean, here and there, like you said, on HTs mainly.
See, this dozen mistakes thing doesn't add up, because was he counting fingers first, and then he ran into toes, and then he ran out of toes? Like, we need more information for 45 Auto.
Is that a Baker's dozen? And like, see, here's like stuff for SDR. This is all SMA connectors. So I like them. I don't have too big of a problem with them.
I will say, anybody buying like an adapter to go to 259 or whatever it is, whichever 239. When you buy an adapter for your HT, buy something with a cable at least a foot long, a little thin cable.
Yeah, put some stress.
Otherwise, you can just bust that thing right off.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna quit using my
the Hermes Lite 2.
On
My Hermes Lite 2 has SMA connectors for the antenna.
It does. Huh.
And so this isn't really a connector, but I put it in here because everybody likes to talk about them. The Nmo mount.
It is really kind of a connector.
Yeah, but it is and it isn't. I figured I'd just.
They make adapters, you know. We could go from Nmo to 239 or 259. I forget which way.
So I don't like Nmo connectors, and that's just me because I think that they were designed by Motorola, so they're obviously superior.
Obviously.
They typically use them as antenna mounts, and these are, from my understanding, waterproof. Now, I'm sure somebody will say, well, it depends on how you mount it. But if you want to drill holes in the roof of your car, the Nmo mounts are the best way to do that.
I've done 2, but one is and one isn't, though.
Yeah, like my side mount for my Comet SPB5 antenna, which I love, by the way. Not sponsored by Comment. You have the option to buy that in Nmo or SO239, and I got SO239 because I didn't want to have
Diamonds are the same way, actually.
yeah, I didn't want to have to deal with Nmo. Now, I don't really know about the connection quality, if it's superior or not. There's a huge giant pin center conductor there and some nice big old threads.
Those are all we use on the fire engine, so they got to be good.
Well, yeah, like all the police cars and all that kind of stuff, ambulances and all that stuff, they all have these type of connectors. And then whackers. So if you are a professional whacker, you would have about 3 or 4 of these on your vehicle as well. Looks like Shooter left. He's going to have to put up his Christmas decor. We did Christmas lights yesterday.
Oh, yeah. It's too early for that still.
Yeah, when I say we put them up, I went and got the box out of the garage, and then and then my wife actually did all the work. So
You just remind. I need to order some. I had my house painted, so I took all the little hangers down for the guy.
Right.
And I found some really cool ones that I'm going to buy, and I need to.
Well,
go
my
buy those
white
now.
trash neighbor put his lights up like a week ago, and he still has the damn ladder laying in his front yard. And
It's part of the decor.
Well, I'm going to
wrong with
ask
that?
him. I'm going to be like, "Is that ladder so Santa can get up to the top of the chimney, son, or is it, what are we going to do there?"
What
to
is
the
wrong
The
with that?
grass is starting to grow around it. I don't want to have to call the HOA on them.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd make a deal with him. If he doesn't call the HOA on your antenna, you won't call the HOA on his ladder yard,
Right.
his ladder graveyard.
All right. And then here's what we were talking about the whole time is the N series. It's invented by a fellow by the name of Paul Neal.
Dang it.
Ah,
And what I found was these are good up to 18 gigahertz. I would think that they would be better. They would go higher than that, but I didn't know. And like BNCs, these can be reverse gender as well. I don't know why we need so many different reverse gender type connectors and so many connector types, because it just makes everything as confusing as heck.
So can you imagine this guy, Mr. Neal, Paul Neal, K9PN, at his local ham club going, guys, fellers, hey, look, I made this new connection. I'm going to call it the N type. And they're all like, shut up, Paul.
Right.
I always think
Yeah.
about that. Like, Alexander Volta and James Watt and Mr. Ampere. I don't know Mr. Ampere's first name, but like, could you imagine being James Watt going in, hey, I think I have this new theory on how to measure electricity, and I'm going to name it the Watt. Shut up, James.
Right. And be like, what? What you say?
Yeah.
Listen to T.O. just drop all these names, man.
Well, he's
Well, I mean,
probably
they
got a
do.
cheat sheet.
They do. Like, Kleenex isn't, they're facial tissues, and Band-Aids are sticking plasters.
So you can see this thing falling down.
The mic, yeah.
I'm going to have to get a 2x4 support or some crap.
And can we brand shame?
Yeah. All right. So anyhow, these can be, they were designed for military use.
Yeah.
And they claim to be waterproof. Now, I haven't waterproof tested mine, but I would be fine if somebody else wanted to donate their equipment for waterproof testing. But I don't know what you think about that, and maybe you'll send some over. And then these are primarily used for RF. So like we were talking about the BNCs, and they use them for like video and audio and all that kind of stuff. It's my understanding that you only see these things in radio frequency applications. I don't know if anybody else has seen them in any other uses. I had never even heard of an N connector until I got into amateur radio.
We got a
Really?
couple more Buy Me a Coffee sponsors that stopped in. Exo Feedema.
Thank you.
Richard, thank you. Shooter Ready Standby, thank you. And now I know who you are on Toad, so I'm coming for you. Vern, thank you very much, Vern.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And they're saying,
look
free
at
car,
those.
free car.
Yeah,
So,
716 subscribers.
yeah, and when I got this Nano VNA that has these N connectors, I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. N connectors, I'll be all professional-like, all scientifical.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized I'm going to have to use all my adapters to connect them to all my antennas and coaxial cable and stuff like that.
So the
which-
the connector will be waterproof, but the Nano VNA will not.
Right.
Oh, right. Which one is the one that John was talking about? The top left?
The this one right here in the top right, the one that's facing up, that is a male connector. And a female BNC should slide right over that.
Huh. Good to know.
Tio, can you demonstrate that? Do you have all the stuff there to do it?
I was playing with it, and I'm afraid I'm not able to really demonstrate it. Maybe I have the wrong side.
My box is downstairs, my connector box.
Yeah, so if you let me put myself up on full screen here, and I'm not saying that John's wrong. What I'm saying is that I don't have the right equipment. So I have. Let me back. I have the male BNC and the female N-type. Those obviously won't work. So let's take the male BNC and the male N-type, and that one doesn't.
He said
work for
female
either.
BNC.
I'm getting there. I'm just going through all the permutations. I got female BNC
right
and male N-type, and that will not go in all the way for me. And I've tried a couple of these
Force it.
female BNCs, and it won't go in all the way. But that could be cheap connectors. I don't know. And then where's the other side? This is female N-type and female BNC. That's not going to work either. So it doesn't work for me, but that could be me and my defective connectors. And I will 100% admit that John is a much better ham than I am. So we'll have to see that on John's channel on Communications and Cigars on one of his live streams.
So Liberty Cave saying
Chuck's
is
got
the
it.
N.
Show me, Chuck.
It's not like he said. It's not a good fit, but it does go in there.
Pull those apart. Let me see which ones you're working with. Okay. Let's see. I got that.
I mean, you'd have to like.
You might have the reverse gender ones, Tio.
I might.
You'd have to tape it. It's not a very like he said. It wasn't a great fit, but.
Do you think you're making an electrical connection with the shield in the center?
I think so. Yeah, it looks like the same size.
Get the multimeter and then tone it.
Oh
out.
wait. Oh wait. If I force it. Oh, yep. If I force it, it works. Let me get the multimeter.
Oh, I didn't force it. Mine just fit right in there.
Mine's tight.
Liberty
Fresh.
Cave's asking about being compatible. I bought this adapter set for mine, so I can just go from N connector to SMA for my spectrum analyzer.
See, I'm trying to be all gentle like. Chuck's just over there ramming stuff in.
I
all right, so I've got my
I just barely
tester.
put mine in there.
I'm gonna start testing some continuity like, and I can't demonstrate. I don't have enough hands, so you can take me off a solo, because it's just gonna be you looking at my forehead.
You don't want to be on solo?
Let me.
All right, so I got the sound. I got the magic sound.
My agent's trying to negotiate. This is the new layout.
You guys don't see this on
that
all
works.
the channels. Testing stuff on live like this.
Oh, it does work. It works. I just had to force it. I like to add force gradually and gently, not all at once, because if you do it wrong, there ain't no going back. Ugh. I mean, you could hear that pop.
I mean, mine doesn't.
I thought that was your
force in
back.
It might have been.
That I heard.
ASMR.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Harder.
I might as well put that in my bag too.
Dan's being cheeky, so I say that because he's a Brit. He redacted this message, but it's never redacted in StreamYard.
We got it. Only hands.
Do we?
And Dan, by the way, Tinder is a numbers game. You just need to swipe. Don't pay any attention beyond that. Just swipe. Whatever shows up, run with it.
Apparently, there's a thing out there called the Tinder flu. Now I don't know what particular strain of whatever that is that you're catching, but
yeah.
Vern says it sounds like his back.
Well, I broke my collarbone, and I can make that one crunch every so often. Yep.
What do you check? Hold that up. What is that?
It's I have one of those. It's one of those cheap. It's the older style from Harbor Freight, but it quit working. The battery, something went bad on it, so I just took it apart. And I'm going to use it on something one of these days.
You're doing some dissection there. So Tio, are you demonstrating something? Or are we going to?
Oh no, I plugged those connectors in with maximum force, and then I did the continuity test, and it does work. I just was not being forceful enough. But I mean, it was all live, so you get what you get on live. It works.
All right.
Like I said, John is the better ham.
Let's go in, and then here I was talking a little bit about roll your own, and then Chuck is going to talk about this because he rolls his own all the time.
I have a really hard time with the BNC ones. Well, I bought a cheap I bought a cheap kit, and it came with Bnc connectors. And I think every time I did them, they were grounded. And then I pulled out some other ones that were better ones that I bought, and it worked fine. So it must have been those BNCs. But I would say spend a little extra money on your BNC connectors if you're going to make your own, because the cheap ones just aren't any good. But I like the crimpers. But you still, even in the crimp ones, you still solder the tips, right?
Oh, always. Crimp and solder, yes.
We didn't get any of that.
We got a little QRM on the frequency. We got a little QRM on the frequency. Can you QSY up 3, please? Up 3.
Try it again, Abe. He's frozen. The ape froze. Yeah, so, and I would say, if you can, always buy a little better. Amphenol's are supposedly the best.
Amphenol, yeah.
But they are super, super expensive. I think, you know what I found?
Get you.
I like, and we're not affiliated, we're not sponsored by, but DX Engineering has some crimp-on ones that I really like. And the reason I like them is because the collars that screw down are shorter. And I've had problems with the longer collars bottoming out before. So I like those. And they're pretty, I think they're a quality one, and they're fairly reasonable. And you know you're buying decent ones.
I've got this silver connector here. If you find them and they're all black or partially black, that's tarnish, which means it's real silver, and these would be good quality connectors. So if you're out at a ham fest and you see dirty old tarnished ones and other hams passing them up, grab them. I ought to put this on.
You can get those off of DX Engineering, right?
Yeah, I ought to put this thing on my metal analyzer and find out just how much silver's in it.
You might have been gone. I said I actually like the DX Engineering crimp-ons. They're pretty nice. I think I have an old one here that my dad had bought years ago. I was going to show you the difference. Oh, yeah. So, bring me up. This is like what Tio was talking about, see how this one's tarnished looking? But look at the end of it. It's got, I think that's called Bakelite. I don't know if you can, it's focused. See, my camera focuses.
Bakelite, right?
I don't know.
Bakelite.
Like that.
Kind of old plastic.
These are probably, if you can find those, probably the best ones you can get. But the new ones work fine.
In. This is
and here you were talking about these earlier.
Yep. Oh my God, that's big, Chuck.
Well, see how that has got the white stuff in there instead of the Bakelite, that plastic.
Yeah. That can be the failure part of it sometimes.
Yeah. So if you buy cheaper coaxial connectors, that stuff can get hot, and that stuff can melt.
Yep.
And can cause you a problem there.
So we were talking about get these little jumpers for SMA to whatever for your antenna, because you don't want to plug the big, where is it? You don't want to plug the RG213 into your Baofeng. You want to plug it into something like this to give it a little bit of strain relief. Right. And then we're talking about rolling your own cables and talking about DX Engineering. And I've got, Chuck's got panel mount.
Yeah. You know what? I bought a used antenna switcher, MFJ one, and it had that in it. And as a dummy, I took that one out. I should have left it in there. I'll probably put it back.
Explain how the
shield,
better. How the shield, because you have one pin coming out the back. So explain how the shield works.
On this one?
Yeah.
I don't totally understand it, but I can show it to you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, so what you do is you bolt it to the chassis, and that's how you make the ground connection.
Right. But this one was in a some ham. I don't know. Maybe it came that way. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he put it in there.
So we were talking about rolling your own, and when you get like RG213, you have to start getting some interesting tools for it. And this is a Type 400 RG213 coax cable cutter from DX Engineering. And so you put the RG213 in one end and you rotate it around, and it will cut the outer shield off. And then you flip it over and put it in the other end and rotate it around, and it will cut the dielectric off. So you're able to use it. It's got adjustable knife blades.
That is the other thing you don't want to skimp on, because I got a cheap little kit just to get the BNC. That was same kit, and the one that, when you put your fingers in and roll them around.
Yep.
The screw to actually adjust it popped out. I had to super glue the dang thing back in. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for the the crimper.
Now, T.O. actually carries that coax tool every day. He keeps it in his back pocket.
Mike says he had some of those.
My BNC binding post adapter. This is right in my pocket, right next to my my peace dollar, because I do want to tout world peace.
Well, you put that BNC connector in the pocket watch pocket, right? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, the fob pocket. Yep.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy, because otherwise it's in the bottom of the pocket, so it's like, I mean, we're getting like T.O. after dark.
That's where T.O. kept his pagers at. That's his pager pocket. Back in the day.
Is that where you would put your pager back then? That's where I would put mine.
See, now my pager is my cell phone, and it's so big that I got to wear cargo pants. So.
I know.
I wear cargo pants too, and I don't care if anybody's a hater of cargo pants.
I bought a bunch of those
cargo shorts. I wear cargo shorts. That's how much of a ham I am.
Yeah,
yep,
I
like
bought some of those for vacation this year because I was do some hamming and going a bunch of places. They have so many pockets. There's so many pockets. You better buy a belt.
Well, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel. I wear these 511 Tactile Pro pants because I'm tactical. I'm tactical as hell.
Well,
and I can fit I can fit a full pint of Jim Beam in the back pocket.
You can fit a pint of Jim Beam in the 30-round mag pouch. Okay, got it.
Right,
he thinks.
No, I know I can. I actually have no video, but like I remember when I got the pants, I was like, "Hey, a pint of Beam will fit right in here."
I'm gonna start EDC in the 6100 here.
Did I?
Oh, it fits.
All right, Tia, we're going. Let's
move the camera.
Let's get some live action here.
Look at that. X6100 in the cargo pants pocket.
Oh, wow, it does. Oh, the 60.
Be careful with that knob.
Where's it?
Dang.
I can't
See you, John. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, John. You know, that little 6100 is small, man. I saw pictures next to a 705 before, and it looked almost the same size, but there's no way. Oh, yeah, don't break that knob off, Tia. You know how you are with those.
Oh, yeah, I'm hard on knobs. There, I said knobs and hard on in the same sentence.
Yeah, you want to be careful there.
Yep.
All right, we're about. She's safe. It's all good.
I got to reshare those slides. I think I covered everything, but I don't remember.
Ladies, stand back. I'm married.
Roll your own was the last slide. Okay, so we are done with that. So hopefully that gave us some content to talk through there. It seemed like it worked out all right.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got? We got tomorrow's show, right? What's up with that?
Tomorrow's show is going to be kind of an exam cram, so make sure you bring all of your questions if you're working on an upgrade. I can't promise that we're going to be able to answer them, but at least we can fake it.
Sure.
We
can claim the book is wrong.
We have a 25% chance of getting the question right after watching the show because it's a 4-part multiple choice question. But yeah, we're going to talk about what some of the things are, like the PIE, VIR stuff. We're not going to math on stream. We're just going to talk about math on stream.
You know, if Dude was here tomorrow, one of us could take an A, B, C, D, and one of us would be right every time.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, that would be a much better show.
He's still not going to be here. And I know he's down in Missouri, and I know that him not having his 6100 is chapping his ass.
Okay. So next month, we're going to have to do this again, because we should do this monthly anyway. But when all 4 of us are back on stream, you know what? I'll put out a call for a guest speaker tomorrow. And anybody that wants to come in, we'll do A, B, C, D, and we'll go through ham study. And Ape will always be A, I will always be C, Chuck will always be D, and that means that whoever is left will be B.
T.O. wants to be C because that's the one you're supposed to go to, right? If you don't know.
45 Auto doesn't know whether to be turned on or revolted, yes.
I just took that case off my 705.
Yeah, so we need a guest for tomorrow's show, I think. I have a few ideas.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. And then Monday night, we got a live stream coming up on Monday night, right?
We do. It's going to be on my channel, like old times. It's going to be the Ham Nugget Show. But Smoke and Ape and I have got our Christmas hats ready, and we're going to start talking about gifts for your significant other to get you. So make sure that you bring your significant other to the couch and watch this on the big screen. And we're going to do anything under $50. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit in the live stream too on Monday, but I am of the impression, and I might be an outlier here, but if my wife was to get me this radio, I would feel obligated to use it more often, and I would not be able to be disappointed that the features that don't work on this, and I would be really upset that it had this warranty void if removed sticker that tells you that the case has been broken into, and then I'd have to like tell my wife that I love it and all that kind of stuff. But if she got me an antenna kit, like a car antenna, I would be totally happy with that.
That's true. Hey, did you figure out that mic problem?
I figured it out, but not because I figured it out. I just started rearranging cables, and then all permutations started working. So when I got it out of the box, I showed you guys on my stream last night that it would not stop transmitting when I plugged the mic in. And then I plugged another mic in, and it was fine. And then we switched cables, and then we switched mics, and then we switched cables and mics, and now it works fine. Don't know why.
Oh, so something was probably bent when you plugged it in.
Yeah, it could have been like a goofy connector or something that just needed to be worked in a little bit.
Yes, the guest is going to do the shout out tomorrow, so I guess that means Taz is volunteering.
Maybe.
All right, and then Chuck, you got anything coming up, or what do you got going on?
Well, I want to talk about the car antenna that we're trying to get this thing. It's a matter of getting everybody together and talking about it. But I've been brainstorming with this thing because you guys know me, man. I'm Mr. always thinking about different antennas, but pretty much all hams outside of a couple like the DX Commander, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's only one guy. I know of one ham that does YouTube that doesn't really care for something about it. I don't know.
Well, I'll never buy one, but it's because of the War of 1812 when we had a signed treaty, and then Britain decided to attack us anyway.
I brought this up. I was on. It was before I did videos, but I brought it up on the Facebook page for DX Commander for Colin, and Callum, and I mentioned that he should come up with a really like more lightweight type thing, and it seemed like he got a little perturbed, so I took my post down. I was talking about something to take up on, and I had the Expedition Light, right? And I was talking about something to take up on sodas. So the other day, I'm sitting here looking at the bracket, and I came up with this. And right now, this has 40 and 20 on it, and if I cut it right, supposedly I can get 15 too, right? So there's 2 wires, 3 antennas. But what it's going to do is, you see the hole in the middle. Somehow you take that hole and attach it to the ground, right? So it's got everything that the AX Commander already has built in, because if you look at it, I ran the wires.
You probably get a tent stake right in there and hold it down. One of those smaller tent.
It probably doesn't need. Stake. Or you could do the tent stake down and then take a piece of paracord to it, right?
Right.
But because I put the positive and the negative on there, I have everything that the DX Commander has in 2 pieces in 1 piece, right?
So what about the ground, the radio plane?
That's right there. It's this one.
Oh,
right
okay.
Here.
Gotcha.
The top one.
Yeah, so it's really hard to see. I see what you're talking about, Chuck. Keep that held up. You see the bottom bolt that he's got.
I can see it now on the bottom.
There's 2 bolts.
There's 3 wires connected to that bottom bolt, and then there's 1 wire connected to the top bolt for the counterpoise.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, you can't see. I've got it all wound up but there's 2 wires. So you got your 20 and your 40 hooked to it. And per Callum, that if you do your 40 right. Now this will probably only work. What I'm making this for is, say you go on a POTA or soda, and you have trees. Sometimes you're above the tree line, but a lot of times there's trees, and you get this thing up 35, 40 feet, right, and pull it down.
Right.
And what it'll probably take is at least 1 or 2 more sets of these, and maybe we'll make these without this part, so they match, but you don't need all the extra. Then they'll be flatter. So 1 at the top, 1 in the middle, and that'll keep your wires separated. And I bet you it'll work pretty good. I played with this once before on a super light pole, but I was using a carbon fiber, and it was really messing with my head because it was interacting on verticals.
That's why I don't use carbon fiber.
It's just another thought. This thing, the more I think about this thing, and dude and I kind of came up with it. We can also do this as a fan dipole, because you could hang it like this and run your all your things off and all into one thing. So it's going to be, and I'm not saying you can't do this with some of the other antenna
But
things.
we designed it to be very flexible. So I mean, like you can do your dipole, your fan dipole, you can do your link
9 to
dipole,
1.
you can do your shrimp and dipole, you can do your dipole and grits. You can do all of them, right? I mean,
and
There's about a million ways.
yeah.
right.
So I think the first one's going to come out as an in-fed half wave, right? And then you could do a 9 to 1 on also. You could, like, and I did a dipole with it the other day, and it worked pretty good.
Yeah, Mike Miles, I've seen this comment over and over and over again where their Zygu is missing radio out. He's looking into UPS. They said they didn't receive it, and the tracking number just sits in Compton.
Jim's is stuck in Compton.
Gangsta radio, right? Like they apparently they've all come through Compton.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are they based out of L.A.? Zygu, or they're importer
the ports,
or
the
radio
ports, right?
The big port of Los Angeles with 1,000 boats off the.
I don't think
waters.
Compton's any. I don't think it's near the water. I might be
And
wrong.
then Mike Miles,
never been there.
not Mike Miles, FEP Labs Jim, big Jim from Alabama. He actually called Radio Oddity and gave him some sass mouth, didn't he?
That's Jim's style.
He's like, now look here, now I'm Jim from Alabama, and I'm sitting in my roofless ham shack.
I'm from fashionable East Pintlala, and over here we don't take kindly to these kinds of slacking offs going on. I lost the big word I was going to go for.
Your chicanery.
Shenanigans.
So, I think that's it. I don't know if I necessarily have anything else.
Well, I think that's the end of your
Slideshow
agenda.
Yeah.
Agenda. We have a tight agenda when Abe does this.
I try.
Keeps us
Will
to
it
a
antenna,
schedule.
Jim?
And,
I try.
I got a new steel
All right. Well,
roof.
I guess what we'll say is thanks for being on, guys, and thanks for everybody in the chat. Thanks for the coffees that we got, and thanks for watching. And we'll be back same time tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we got one more from Skeeter. Thank you very much, Skeeter.
Awesome. Well, thanks
Skeeter.
guys. We totally appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day.